Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Hello, amigos. Thanks so much for visiting Lima this afternoon, and my apologies for this late starting. I had some technical issues here at home, so I hope this, little awaiting for the beginning of this tour will also make this event extra special for you all. Sometimes technical issues are complicated for us tour guides to handle. So, once again, thanks a lot for visiting, and thanks a lot also for coming to Lima this afternoon virtually. In this second part of the tour to LARCO Museum, a wonderful private collection located in Lima, Peru, you will be able to get to see one of the most important collections we have in the country. This is an archaeological collection. It's a pre-Hispanic collection. And this collection, by the way, of course, we cannot stream live there because as most museums don't really permit something like this currently. They prefer, of course, in-person visitors. But in this occasion, I am going to be using a video that has been recently posted by the museum in their Facebook, in the official Facebook of LARCO Museum. So the only problem about that museum's video is that it is all in Spanish. So I thought it would be a good idea to share with you the video, but translating this, let's say, the speech of the director of the museum that you're going also to see, and also explain to you what you can see inside the rooms that she will take us to see virtually through this video. So I hope you enjoy this second part of this visit. Yesterday we visited different chambers, two different sections of the museum, and also gave a little introduction to this museum. And now we're going to visit the textiles room and also the room of the sacrifices and the jewelry. So, we're going to start with this event. And once again, thank you so much for staying there. Sorry for the delay in the starting of this event. I had some technical issues that I couldn't handle until this moment. So, now we're going to start. So first of all, let me also show you the video we're going to be using. This is a video from the official Facebook of LARCO, which, by the way, I invite you to follow. Let me also show you how looks this their Facebook. And most of the information you'll find in LARCO's official Facebook is, of course, in Spanish. But please still go in. You will see lots of really interesting pictures, and also you can practice your Spanish there with the information, the material you will find. So yesterday we finished this streaming in this section where the ceramics, also the ceramics, the pre-Hispanic ceramics of the museum are in display. So in the yesterday edition, we're able to see ceramics. So now we're going to start with, let's say, the section that corresponds to the textiles. The museum has several rooms. Hola, Bernhard. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining, amigo. So this part of the museum is dedicated to textiles, as I was saying, and there are several of them. Let me also amplify a little bit the image, so in that way you can see it a little bit larger. And here we have the most important fabric or piece of fabric of the whole LARCO collection. So this piece is known as the fabric of the dragon. And of course we had no dragons in Peru, or that the dragon is not part of the mythology of pre-Hispanic Peru. But the way how this mythological animal or this god looks is very, very similar to the dragons, for example, of Asia or Europe. So what you can notice, for example, in this part is the presence of these animal that is, or this entity or this being that is being repeated in all the edge of this huge fabric, which is approximately 2 meters wide, is very, very big, and that was used to involve a bundle that contained a mummy. So the pre-Hispanic, let's say, belief about the dead, just to give you an idea about the importance of this transition into the afterlife, the idea of the dead was that when you died, you were not really like vanishing or disappearing. You were transforming. So as if you were a seed, you were planted in ground, you were planted in the soil, and you were put in a fetal embryonic position, and you were covered with fabrics that were very beautiful. And all of these fabrics had elements, like for example here we have this, as I was saying, this sort of like dragon that has the face of a feline. Even you can see the fangs of a puma. It has legs of a bird, and it has a body very long that resembles the body of a snake. So we have here again the representation of an entity that is connected with the three worlds. Yesterday we talked about the division of the world and the first religion of the pre-Hispanic men of this part of the world, of Peru. The idea that the world was divided in the upper world, this world where we live, and the underworld. So notice that, for example, there is a little element over here in the corner. This is a little bird. And the bird was color green, right? So in the image before, the external, let's say, color of the dragon was black, no? But the bird that is next is green. So in the next segment, the dragon or this figure turns green and the bird turns yellow. And in the next segment, this entity turns yellow and we have a black bird that flies on the other section, and again we have the dragon or this god turning black. So this is very interesting. We have like a cycle, a never-ending cycle of continuation, of transformation that goes along the whole edge of this huge piece of fabric, which was made with, all of the respect possible, with all the care that you could imagine, to go with the dead to the afterworld, right? So the intention, of course, of these divinities to go with their lords, let's say, to accompany these lords to the afterlife, was, of course, connected with the status of this person and the connection of the person with these divine entities, right? So they have to be involved with these elements. So in that way, in the afterlife, in the afterworld, they will be respected also in the same way. So this pattern is repeated constantly, even up in the let's say in the upper section we have the same pattern being repeated, and also between these lines. So it is really amazing how much effort was put to make a piece like this one. This is the most emblematic fabric of the collection LARCO, among many others that you can see also in their in display in the textiles room. And what is most fascinating is how old this piece is. This piece dates back to the Paracas culture. Paracas society is one of the oldest societies of Peru, and they developed, they existed in the coast of Peru, in the desert coast, nearly 3,000 years ago. Also, this is really, really amazing to see that such fabric can be still in this time, in this good shape. And this is, of course, thanks to the work of the archaeologists, but also by good chance, basically, by good luck that we had to have this piece. So now I'm going to move a little bit forward the video, and I want to show you another important set of elements that you can find in the textiles room in LARCO Museum. Remember that this is a private museum. The admission fee to visit LARCO Museum is only $10 per person, which is a great investment, especially if you compare it to other international collections. And they have kindly shared this video with the world also. It is in Spanish, that's why it's muted. Ula Homkins, which is the director of the museum, is the lady you can see explaining. So the quipus are these two elements that you can see hanging on the wall in this part of the museum. They are considered or usually described as an accounting system from the pre-Hispanic times. So the quipus are conformed by cords with knots. So there is a primary cord which is in the upper part, and from the main cord there are cords coming down, and each one of these cords have knots. And these knots can be put on different ways. There are so many different combinations of knots, and also many colors of these cords. So we know, thanks to, first of all, archaeological investigation and also data recollected in the colonial times when the Spanish conquistadors met for the first time the Incas, and when they realized the existence of these quipus, that the quipus were used to record information, a way they were used as a way of sort of like keeping information. Of course, the information in them is not very clear, which is very, very sad. Yes, Michaela, hello, amiga. Yes, like a writing system. And this is very important also to mention. I am preparing also an event about the writing system in Peru before the coming of the conquistadors. We have quipus, we have also tocapus, which are designs in fabrics, and all of these elements together probably were part of a writing system of the pre-Hispanic times. The next section, by the way, we are doing a little bit something more general, but the next section is about the human sacrifice in pre-Hispanic times. The human sacrifice in the period of the pre-Incan societies, not even the Incas. The Incas are the summit, right, of the pre-Hispanic cultures. But the Museum LARCO is mainly about the Mochica culture, because the creator of this museum, Mr. Rafael Larco Hoyle, lived in the north coast of Peru, and he was able to access to vessels from the north. So what the director of the museum, Mrs. Ula, is showing here is a vessel that has a ceremony, which, to be very honest, we are going first to give a look to the whole room to have an idea of the understanding better the ceremony in the vessel. So what we are seeing here, first of all, are vessels that show warriors, but Mochica warriors. These are not Inca. This is pre-Inca. Mochica culture emerged around the beginnings of Christian era, and disappeared around the year 700 of our era. And in the vessels we see here in this first display, in this first showcase, we can see warriors, which are, of course, like always represented with these very nice huts, conic shaped huts, always have these sort of like clubs to defend themselves and to fight. So the human sacrifice first starts with the fight between these warriors, these soldiers, and you can see also here that this is the moment of the fight that is the most important, and we can see that always there's one person represented as sort of like the winner, that is like triumphant. He is winning over the other, and is holding the hair of that other, the one that has been defeated, in his hand. Both have long hair. Long hair was considered, seems to be in the pre-Hispanic times, a very important attribute of status, but also an attribute related with life, because the longer the hair, the more the life you had lived, right? The same with the nails, the longer you have lived the most. It shows the passing of the time. So chopping off the hair, cercenating the hair, taking off the head, the cutting of this part of the human body represented also that you were coming to an end. It was a symbolic way to show that you were coming to the ending of your life. So after this fight, this fight of these soldiers, there was a moment in which one of them was their head was cut off, and then after there was a whole preparation process of this now prisoner, giving to him hallucinogenical plants, giving to him some type of products that will like alterate the state of mind of this person. And once a process of purification pass, let's say these soldiers or these prisoners now would be sacrificed. So you can see, for example, in this segment, by the way, this is an image that it is already in the first vessel we saw at the entrance of the room. So it has been amplified to be seen in detail. So you can see here this, first of all, the people to be sacrificed. And then also, this is, by the way, the vessel, if you wanted to see from where it is coming. This vessel, which is not so big, is just 25 centimeters really of a space for painting in it. So that image was amplified in that wall, right? So you can see that the image is divided in two sections. We have an upper part, which is the part where the gods are. They are more ornated, they are more decorated. And we have a lower section where we have the prisoners and also priests next to them. We can even see blood coming out the mouth of that prisoner, for example. And this blood is being contained in a pot. So this pot full of blood would at some point go upwards, where these divine people are, right? Where you can see they are holding cups. Can you see the cups? They have a cup here and another one over here. So presumably, the blood of these prisoners, which is also connected with life, blood was equivalent to life, was given to these people also, because they were not part of the imagination of the people. Actually, they were leaders, right, that used to participate of these ceremonies, and they would drink probably or throw the blood on the floor. We don't really know what happens. We know that this sort of like container is the one that kept the blood and move it up where this ceremony happened. And presumably also this ceremony happened on the top of a pyramid, of a pre-Hispanic pyramid made of mud, because in the coast of Peru, because we don't have rain, we have a desert in the coast of Peru. The conditions, the climatic conditions are great to maybe create temples in mud and not having any damage in them for thousands or let's say even more time of years, right? So seems that the representation that we have here is sort of like the moment in which these prisoners were killed, and the viewer, the artist who made this representation, was observing this from the lower part and seeing that this sort of like a stage was in reality the top of a flat pyramid. And on top that flat pre-Hispanic pyramid of adobe is where the ceremonies happen. Also, nowadays, there are many archaeologists who were able to discover in many of the tombs in the north of Peru, in these beautiful pyramids, the bodies and all the decoration of the people that you can see represented in this drawing, right? Including the exact same hats or crowns, earrings, and all the paraphernalia associated. So this is the vessel, the starting vessel, let's say, of the story that I just shared with you. And this tiny, tiny vessel was discovered inside a tomb. So this is sort of like the let's say the ending of the whole story that I just have narrated or shared with you. So by the way, oh yes, Michaela, thanks for asking. The vessel, and as well all the vessels that you can see exposed in this room called the room of the sacrifice correspond to the Mochica culture. The Mochica culture emerged in the north of Peru about 2,000 years ago, beginnings of Christian era, and disappeared around the year 700. It seems that they were conquered by another society called the Wari culture, also known as the Wari Empire, and that was the time of the decadence of this culture. Also, independently in different parts of this room, of the sacrifice, we have, for example, vessels that are connected with the main image. Thank you, Michaela. Thanks for your question. With the main image that you saw, proving that also the whole event that we displayed in the center of the room that came from that vessel at the entrance. Also, these elements, these people were also independently represented, right? So these vessels might be about at least 1,500 years old, which is fascinating. They were made in pottery. So now we're going to continue going a little bit forward, and I would like also to show you something really interesting, which is a funerary bundle. So we are going also to move a little bit forward the video, and remember that this collection can be visited anytime. The museum is open every day, Monday to Sunday. Is in Lima, Peru, and is known as one of the best museums we have in the country and one of the best in the world. So this bundle you see here is original and contains the body of a child. Can you see the child? I think I'm going to return a little bit the image, so in that way I can do a stop here, right? Because I think we're going to just move a little or wait a little bit for making the stop in the video. So this bundle, as I said before, thank you, Ashley, for following. Thank you so much. This bundle is original. Is one of really the few bundles that exist in museums in Peru that have not been opened. And the intention of not opening this bundle was to keep the integrity of the piece for posterity, but also thanks to the X-rays, for example, we are able to see through all that those many layers of fabrics what is inside. And what is inside is something really, really curious. Is a child of more or less between 5 and 6 years old, and this child probably died of a disease which is very hard to really know, but had very fragile health condition. So we can deduce from the type of bundle in which he or she was put that belonged to the nobility, to high status in the community he belonged to. And the bundle, by the way, belongs to the Wari culture. Wari culture, also known as an empire, was one of the most, let's say, spread over cultures in Peru. They were also sort of like conquistadors in a way, although, well, it's in debate how they were able to expand, if there was any fights between them and the people they conquer or they annexed. But we know that the Wari also, they had a very interesting, sophisticated religions, and if they're so varying in fetal embryonic position was a way they also respected and always even spread over, right? This room, the second, the next part, sorry, is about jewelry. Also, the museum is proud to show you metals, precious metals such as gold, such as silver, in the display, and they are original all, they are not replicas, which is fantastic. So remember that in the pre-Hispanic times, gold and silver were not associated with monetary value. There was nothing that monetary value, like monetary value nowadays. And when the Spanish conquistadors came, their desire, their wish over gold and silver was not really like something the local people could understand, because they considered gold and silver to be part of their gods. Gold was considered to be the sweat of the sun in earth, and silver the tears of the moon in earth, right? It sounds very magical, and very poetic, but that's the way how my ancestors in Peru used to see these metals, and that's why they honor, let's say, the status of their leaders, giving them, and solely and only to them, the chance of using these metals. What you're seeing here, for example, are nose rings. Imagine, my friends, using something like that on your nose. So it must have been very painful. It must have been also uncomfortable. But the intention of using a nose ring like such, for example, was first of all to dehumanize your face, or to make you look less human and more divine. The earrings, the necklaces, that were huge also, the idea was that you would look divine instead of, let's say, just like mortal. Even the little elements hanging, like little hangers from the nose rings, were also able to create an effect, a sound effect when you were talking, right? These necklaces you see, for example, this is the room of the necklaces, show that these people were able to access or to products that were sometimes not local, like, for example, lapis lazuli from Chile, emerald from Ecuador or Colombia, right? This is the way how the nose rings also were or looked in the face of a leader. Also, they were very big. They changed even the way how the sound of the voice ended up. And these big, like, circles in the ears are earrings. So the earlobes were stretching, were deformed to give an appearance also of a person that was sort of like divine, and it was believed that was the way the gods look like. So at the end, all of these elements dehumanized completely the face of these people. They were not looking mortal anymore. Of course, they were not never close enough to the common people to see the common people, the humanity in them. In this one, for example, you can see divers. These people you see over there are divers that are holding a spondylus shells. That little element, like a flower, was an spondylus shell, and they were all tied one to another, right? So because to get into the shell, you need to dive in several meters under the water to reach this shell, this mussel that was considered the food of the gods. Only worn by men? No, Michaela. It was believed for a long time that only men rule, of course, because we are in Latin America. Of course, there was also the idea that the man was the only one who ruled. But now we know, after many years of discoverings, especially in the last decades, that women were able to rule, to get this deformed skulls. Deformation in the skull was something related with a status, to get also earrings, that deformation in the earlobes, nose rings, tattoos also. We know of women that got tattoos, meaning that there were some of them in the same level of men, to rule also. And here we have something really interesting. This piece, by the way, which is considered the most important of the museum in the jewelry section, in this moment is not in Lima. So when the video was made, that was not really the original. It's the replica of this beautiful, we say ajuar. Ajuar is this set of jewelry. And the reason is because the original is located in this moment in France, in Paris, is located in the Museum Palais Chalot. So you can go, if you are in Paris, you can go to that exhibit. And the exhibit is called Machu Picchu Treasures of the Old Peru. So this exhibit that is there in Paris shows you the different and especially hand-picked like potteries and golden pieces and vessels and fabrics from pre-Hispanic times. And the star of that exhibit is this set of jewelry. So that's why we have here in this moment the replica. And the original that is there in Paris was made during the Chimú culture times. So the Chimú people were one of the last societies of Peru. They ruled at the same time, they existed at the same time, the Incas. Most people, when they talk about Peru, they know about the Incas. The Incas were not the only culture we had in Peru. And of course, when the Incas existed, there were other cultures at the same time. Some of them were let's say, form alliances with the Incas. Some of them were fighting against the Incas. This was not a bed of roses when the Spaniards came. So the Chimú lord that used this beautiful set that was buried also and discovered in a mud city called Chan Chan, was also very important, was sort of like a god. That's why he had all of this gold around. And even you can see that the crown have these elements that look like feathers coming out of the crown. So it's really amazing. This is like a fusion of a bird with a person. The big earrings also, which must have been super painful to be carried. By the way, something like these earrings like this can open your ears. Also, it was necessary to tie a cord behind the earring, pass it over the head, right? They say like over here, and then tie to the other side. So in that way, the weight of the earrings will be on the head and not on the earlobes. I hope you are understanding the trick behind this, right? Because these were very heavy earrings, and the earlobes and the big earrings were very important element that they show the status of a person. Even the chest plate also with these elements that look like sort of like feathers, right? All of this made with a combination of gold and copper. Copper was very important because gold alone is too soft and can deform easily if it's the piece too big. So in order to add some body, some strength into the gold, it was necessary to mix it also with copper, right? So this piece, as I was saying, is in this moment the original in Paris. You can see it there in the Palais Chalot, and soon is going to Milan. It's going to be in Paris until September, and Milan is going to be, well, few months after. So please give a visit to that exhibit that is called Machu Picchu Treasures of the Ancient Peru. So now I want to also talk a little bit about a very special part of the house. Remember that you can see the full video. It is all in Spanish. Hola, Viviana. It is all in Spanish in the Facebook of Museum LARCO. It lasts for an hour and a half, so it's beautiful. Practice your Spanish, please, and hear this wonderful like circuit. Something very interesting about this museum, quite unique to be honest, uniqueness is that Mr. Rafael Arco Joyle, when he designed this museum, when he planned the museum, he wanted that the storage will be open to the world, to the visitors. I don't know how many other museums have something like this. I think none other is similar to this one in that sense. So Mr. Rafael Arco Joyle said the storage have to be part of the circuit and open the door to it since the time of creation of the museum and since the museum came to here in the 1950s. So here you can see, well, for example, a section where the portrait vessels are located. So let's say the exhibit in this section continues for many more rooms, and the totality of the collection has an enormous amount of pieces. In total, there is over 45,000 pieces in this collection, within the museum. The recopilation, let's say, of the museum is fabulous. It tells you the history of Peru in, let's say, a couple of hours if you want to come and enjoy this museum. And now we are going to the external section. We are here in the at the entrance, let's say, of the house. Oh, Bernhard, I'm going to also answer your question right away, my friend. You can see also in the distance the main courtyard. This house is an 18th century, 1700 house. There is a restaurant there. This is the restaurant of the museum, which is excellent. And the museum offers also the chance to have a restaurant right next. So in that way you can come in and now the exhibit. And right next to the restaurant, there is a room which is really behind the director of the museum, Ola Homkins. The room there is called the Erotic Gallery. I was planning to do a next part of this, let's say, series in which we will be able to visit the Erotic Gallery. By the way, the Erotic Gallery video in Spanish, narrated by the director of the museum, is also available in the Facebook of LARCO Museum. So now I will put a stop to the video, and I want also to answer some questions. And my friend also, Bernhard, I want also to give him the chance, and all of you, to see again the Facebook of LARCO Museum. Please follow them. They do something fantastic, trying to, let's say, show pieces of the museum, let's say, to all people around the world. So you can see here in the upper part, you can make a screenshot if you wish, or to follow in Facebook. It's just facebook.com/Museo LARCO, Museo LARCO. Thank you, Michaela. Thank you. And you can see also, if we go downwards, the video must be somewhere here. So also I will be doing, my project was doing something similar with other Peruvian museums that have also videos of their, look at here, for example, this is the full video of the museum, the one we use today, but is in Spanish only. And also there is another video that is coming in the next part that I'm going to be doing. Let me know if you would like me to do that. Is about the Erotic Gallery. So it's a little bit lower, but I think you will be fascinated with what we have in the Erotic Gallery. The Erotica is really fascinating. There are many good museums also that you can access, that you can see. So well, I'm going to keep going down. I think it's very, very bottom in the site. But anyways, no worries. I'm going to find it for you. And also, please give them a follow. They really need support. They need more people to know about what they have. Right? So, well, this is LARCO Museum. And also, I remember there's another question over here. Are there English description in the museum? Yes, Michaela, everything is multilingual in this museum, just to let you know. Everything is multilingual. They have in Japanese, in English, in Portuguese, Italian, French, and I might be missing a couple of more languages, and of course Spanish. So the museum, if you come to Lima, you cannot miss that one. By the way, I do also in-person tours to this museum. As you can see, I love history. I am an official tour guide, by the way, in Lima, Peru. My name is Vanessa Vasquez, if this is the first time you are joining my tours. If you want, please give me a follow. I do tours like outside in Lima about history, about archaeology. I do tours into museums also, but the ones that allow me to go in, if I cannot go in, I use also pre-recorded videos to show you, let's say, the beauty of the museums in my city and my country. Also, I would like to share with you a little bit of my information. Let me also share. There's a little image there that is coming where you can also access to my Facebook, Instagram, also by my website. You can also join the official Heygo Facebook. So if you would like also to see, let's say, some posts of mine, also from my colleagues. If this is the first time you are joining one of my tours, thank you so much for giving me a try. Michaela, thank you so much for your tip support. And my friends, if you would like to support this channel, that would be super fantastic because it helps me and also helps Heygo. So these are tours, just tips supported. If you would like to see a part 3 also with the erotica, the explanation of the erotica gallery, let me know it in the comments. So I think it would be super nice to show you what's in there, the secrets of the erotica gallery. And also, if there's any museum you would like me to explain, thanks God, now there are lots of videos about museums in Peru, in Lima in particular. So just send me your requests. I love to talk about history and especially about museums. Gracias, Caitlin. Thank you, Bernhard. Thank you so much, amigo. I hope I answer all your questions, but if there's any other question, please just let me know it right away. Adrian, muchas gracias. Thanks for waiting for me. I know you were here early, and also this tour sort of like delayed starting. I have some technical issues at home with the internet connection, but now I was able to solve it and to go ahead with the tour. Gracias, Adrian. Thank you so much. So, amigos, don't forget to follow LARCO Museum. And also to give me your suggestions for next event. Do you speak Quechua? Bernhard, no, I don't speak Quechua. My grandmother used to speak Quechua. My family comes from the Andes. I am the first generation of my family, of both my families, from my mom and my dad, that was born in Lima. So I am part of the mass migration that happened in the 70s. So I am the child of the migration that was pushed because of the terrorism, because of the lack of, let's say, business opportunities in the provinces. So people were coming to Lima looking for opportunities, looking to give their children better chances of education. And, well, thanks God, my family was able to make it to Lima, and I was able to be given a good life and education here in the capital. But I want to return something also from what I've learned to Peru in benefit of promoting my country, promoting my city, and also to help you all to understand a little bit more about my country through the eyes of a local, but also through the eyes of someone that appreciates being in Lima because this was the dream of her family, right? So, well, I hope you would like to come and see more of my events and my tours. And, well, sometimes it's not possible for me going out to do always city tours. So I will try to keep you also entertained with some from home events. Muchas gracias. Thank you, amigos. Muchas gracias. Thanks for coming. Thanks for your tip support. I am activating a button that will give you an idea of how you can support this tour. These are pay-as-you-wish tours. They are just tip supported. So if you have the chance to do it, that would be super fantastic. Still, please, if you're not able to do it, come to my tours. Come join me. I'm doing this to share and to pass the voice about the beauty of my country and share Peru with you all. Thank you so much. See you soon, and best to you all. Oh, muchas gracias, and until next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Gracias, amigos. Thank you. Ciao. Ciao, Chair. Ciao, Adrian. Gracias, amiga. Bye-bye, Michaela. Bye, Caitlin. Thank you, Bernhan. Thanks to all. Love from Lima. Bye-bye.